So we'll talk a lot today about how you bring that about, how you are aware of your balance of energies and what to do about them. The most significant thing that we want you to hear from us. You've been listening to us for a while? Well, then we're going to tell you something that you have not heard us emphasize much. Just recently, we're really giving this to you in a strong way. When you are wanting something different than you have, the usual reason that it doesn't unfold quickly for you is because of your incessant attention upon what is. And we understand why what is so interesting, because you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. And we understand why the vortex version that is in the state of becoming might seem less interesting to you, because it has not yet turned into things. It's in vibrational form, it's in the state of becoming, but it hasn't come out where you can see it yet. And you're addicted to what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, so much so that you would rather think about and talk about what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, rather than only about what you can feel, even though everything that you want is over here in this vibrational reality in the process of becoming. So for a while we were explaining to you about this vibrational reality. We called it a vortex. We wrote a whole book about it, 2 of them in fact, to help you to accept that it is a real state of existence. And then you began saying things to us like, Abraham, we'll play your silly game and we'll accept that there's something over there that we can't see. We'll try to believe you. We'll try to have faith about it. But really, Abraham, just tell me, how do I get my money out of the vortex and into the bank? How does this vibration become a reality for me where I can experience it and where others can see it too? And so then we began saying, what you're talking about is your whole reason for being out here on this leading edge. Of course you prefer to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, because that's the manifested form in its fullness. That's what you came for. You are powerful and deliberate creators, and you want the full manifestation of things. That's natural to you. But you cannot ever get to the full manifestation of your desire if you are focused upon what is. And you cannot work it out here in the physical manifestation. So watch these visuals that we are presenting. Here is the vortex, and here is where your inner being stands. And here is the vibration that is pure, and here is where everything that you want is. But it's in vibrational form, and you must be the receiver. You must be the allower. You are the one who will perceive it. You are the one who will interpret it. You've got to get in the receiving mode. Step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is source answer. Step 3 is you must get into the allowing or receiving mode, which means you have to be in a vibrational frequency where the thoughts and impulses occur to you. Esther is in the airport getting an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and then an impulse to move over there, and met a very nice man. He said, my daughter's just not going to believe this. And Esther said, then you better take a picture. And then she said, put it up higher, we'll look better. And then he said, I think I'll call her. So he called her, and she didn't answer. So he left a message, and Esther said, I think you should call her again, and I'll leave a message. So what fun they're having. But what we're getting at is following the impulse always leads you to something that's more fun and more fun and more fun and more fun, provided that that is coming from your source energy point of view. So when you're mad at someone and you get the impulse to call them up and tell them off, that impulse is not coming from source. So what we're demonstrating with this hand waving is that here is your vortex, and here is where the pure energy is, and this is where the impulses that will lead you. You see, your inner being knows where you stand in proximity to everything you want, and knows the path of least resistance to help you to get there. For Esther, it was sit over there, 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 sit over there. In other words, she moved around a lot. She said to him, are you going to San Antonio? That's where I'm going. And he said, no, I'm going someplace else. Esther said, well, why are you sitting at this gate? And he said, I don't know. His gate was over there. He was sitting at a different gate because his impulse led him there too. You see what we're getting at? There are all kinds of things that are leading you to all kinds of things, but you got to be in the receptive mode in order to get that pure signal. So we'll talk about how to go about that. We're eager to talk with you about whatever is important to you. There's nothing that is off limits. You will notice a really wonderful unfolding. And as we said, we know where you are in relationship to what you want. And there are plenty of conversations that are going to happen here today that will assist you in getting there. So, what do you want to talk about? A lot of trouble in this room. It is usually that way. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. It is you. We do have the ability to bring the mic to you. Now we tell you. Now you've hiked up the mountain, but we can get one to you.
I am very grateful to be here in this chair because this is a manifestation for me.
Yeah.
I have several questions. One of the questions I have relating off of what we talked about this morning, I really understand, as I understand it, the larger part of us is non-physical. The larger part of Esther is non-physical, and that's Abraham, of all of us.
The larger and the longer, the eternal part of you.
And the eternal part, okay. And I understand and I believe in that. It really makes sense to me. What I don't understand is then, what's me? Am I just like a radio?
You are an important co-creator. Maybe the best word that Esther has ever found when we try to answer this question is you are an extension of. So you are an important equal part. You are the part of that non-physical consciousness. And so it's like this. Part of you said, I'll stay here and remain pure positive energy. And I'll send an aspect of myself to explore the contrast in order to ask for more. So you're the part that gets into life, that observes it, that comes to your own conclusions about how it would be better, and then without even needing words, radiates a vibration or a request, a rocket of desire, which assures the expansion of yourself and the universe at large. Your important function really is that you keep mixing it up so that you can ask for more. And then as you ask for more, then Source, who stands in that stable place, can guide you, but not because you're a puppet, but because you are a willing receiver, willing to receive the answer to the question that life caused you to ask.
I feel like a vessel. I've heard you say this several times with other people also. Is the thought mine or is the thought you? Am I just receiving those thoughts or am I thinking those thoughts?
It's a little tricky, isn't it? Because once you think a thought, the thought thinks. And then law of attraction responds to the thought. So all of us are more receivers of thought than we are thinkers of new thoughts, but we are modifiers of them. There's just a constant new experience. Even something as simple as moving the chair, no big deal. Chose what looked like a perfectly wonderful chair. It seemed to meet all of the qualifications until it didn't. And so then what's the next best decision from where I am? And what's the next best decision from where I am? And what's the next best decision from where I am? And so if you accept that you are an eternal being, and in order to be eternal, you must be expanding. And in order to be expanding, there must be contrast from which to cause you to ask for more. Then you can see how the two aspects of you just work so perfectly together. That's why we began today by saying you really have 2 points of attraction. There's this non-physical point of attraction that's calling everything that you really want to that aspect of you, and then there's you calling everything to you that you've got active in your experience, and your emotions are the blend that let you know how you're doing.
Well, and is it the non-physical that's giving me the urges to follow?
In this sense, yes. You in living life are asking for improvement, so you throw it over there. And then your inner being accepts the improvement, knows it, focuses on it, and bees it. And law of attraction responds to your inner being, who is now the vibrational liver of what you've asked for. When you realize that when you don't feel good, you're splitting yourself. And when you do feel good, you are coming home to yourself. You are allowing yourself. You said, I'll go and I'm willing to split off a little bit in order to know what could be better. And your inner being says, and I'll stay here because I'm not willing to split myself. And when you send something over, I'll focus upon it. We're making this very rudimentary, but it's pretty much this way. I'll focus upon it. I'll hold it in our collective vibration of absolute well-being. And if you now, creator out there on the leading edge, if you, who caused this expansion, don't come with it, you're not going to feel quite as good as if you do come with it. Further, since I stand here knowing everything you've asked for, and knowing very clearly where you stand in your human form in relationship with everything that you've asked for, I'll hold the image so powerfully of you being there that if you tune in, you'll know what to do next and what to do next and what to do next and what to do next. It's sort of like, so you have an idea of this house you want to live in, and you meet with an architect, and you say, well, I didn't like not having enough closets. I want plenty of closets. And I didn't like having upstairs, downstairs. I want to be on one level. And I didn't like a crowded kitchen. And so you give to the architect what you want, often by telling him what you didn't like about where you used to live or where you are living. So you give the intentions to the architect, and then the architect draws the plans. The architect draws out the plans, gathers the materials, and gathers the builder. But who created this anyway? Who's the creator of it? You are. You lived the life which caused you to do the asking, and then the architect brought it into some semblance of something that you could look at, where you could continue to adjust it if you wanted to. It's this vibrational becoming that we really want to call your attention to in answering your question, and then you tuning in so that you receive the impulse and you have the satisfaction of getting to watch it come together.
I like that part.
Yeah.
For sure.